que é aquilo?
No pico do morro, tá vendo? 3 luzes.
Fogo. Esse fogo não é não.
Caraca, tão voando, olha. Tão juntinho.
Nossa senhora. Grava isso, grava.
tempo, velho.
Sumiu? Foi pra dentro da nuvem?
Meu Deus do céu.
I am so sad about David Wilcock right now. He did not. That is some BS. I don't know what's happening, but whistleblowers are getting taken out left and right. David Wilcock, oh man, this is another sad one. Thank you for all you did. You helped me stay sane. I don't know what I'm gonna do on my Sundays now. I listen to you every Sunday for a while. Now you're roaming the cosmos.
Yeah, welcome back with another banger. Hit that like, sub it up, don't react, bounce. Hit that like, sub it up, don't react, bounce. Y'all feel me? Let's run it.
Another UFO researcher apparently committed suicide yesterday. This would be number 12 of the UFO researchers and scientists that have either died or gone missing. Name is David Wilcock. He's 53. He's a famous UFO researcher and New York Times bestselling author. And 2 days ago, one day before his suicide, he decided to do a live on why Trump posted himself as Christ, asking, has he lost his mind? Is he the Antichrist? And he also said this.
Every day that I have on earth is a gift and a blessing, and I'm very grateful for that because, frankly, people are disappearing. Scientists are going missing. Now they're saying they're going to investigate this. The president himself is saying they're going to look into this and see if anything's going on. It's a little bit scary.
And he's also tweeted this, I plan on living, not suicidal at all, just concerned about what happens when you prove God is real. David didn't just talk about aliens, he talked about the cabal, Illuminati, and Satan. Mainstream media is saying that they're still not sure if he's dead yet, saying that the family has not yet confirmed this. But apparently people in our government do have this information confirmed. Something very weird is going on, and to me it's pretty obvious these guys are getting whacked, and the question is why? As always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
Yeah, this is weird and it sounds like it's getting worse. Scientist number 12, New York Times best-selling author David Wilcock. I think it's pretty sus the family hasn't confirmed his death, but government officials have. Praying he's okay, but it doesn't look good. Shout out to WFF News.
Y'all, he's actually dead. I confirmed it myself with police reports. And they're saying that the death was by self-unaliving. Don't comment on this video saying I'm wrong because the mainstream media hasn't reported it yet. Let me start to tell you guys how weird this is and why you should maybe know who it is. So he just did a live stream 2 days ago and was in very great health and very energetic. Then it was 10, 11 a.m. that they get a call and they find him and the thing that he used to take his own life. This is where it gets weird. So David Wilcock is known for a lot of different conspiracy type situations. He was on Ancient Aliens years and years ago, even till recently. But when he left Ancient, he was doing seminars by himself and talking about very, very crazy things like Looking Glass and other 3-letter agency activities. He also warned of something in the very near future coming, a great deception, you could say. Now, this information first leaked by people that were close to him, made it to Reddit, and now all sorts of sites, and I was able to find that exact police report. Now, disclaimer, I didn't agree with everything he says, but it's really hard to find someone where you can agree with everything they say. But one thing was sure, the path that he was on was he was going against everything right now that they are putting so much money behind to get us to believe. I mean, he even did this live talking about, is that guy the Antichrist? But look, the biggest thing is he had been in that game. There are probably NDAs that he had, and he started calling out everything for psyops the way that they actually are. With this big push for alien disclosure, it wouldn't surprise me if he came out and said exactly the way things are and what kind of entities are really ruling the earth. Miraculous sleep, feeling great, energized to self-unaliving? I don't buy it. Do you?
Shout out to the Real Moon Henry. Found out the reports were confirmed. Knew this guy looked familiar. He was on Ancient Aliens. We talk about that show all the time in a live stream of Explore the Weird. I think this is the most prominent scientist yet, if you ask me. And that UFO disclosure, Sounds like it needs to be unclassified ASAP.
NASA just released this image from the most powerful telescope in space. What is that? I also saw this one. Very similar. This is in the constellation Taurus. What you're looking at is the aftermath of a giant, dense cloud of dust and gas in space that was so massive, it collapsed under its own gravity to form a spinning star surrounded by the spinning stuff that was unused in forming the star. And all of it's flattened as if you were spinning a pizza dough, and within that disk, these particles collide and stick together and accumulate more and more to form planets and moons and comets and asteroids and everything in a planetary system. This is the edge of that disk. I'm pretty sure you can see this happening. If you look right there, you can see a gap in this disk around the star, and I'm pretty sure that's a planet forming, collecting all of the stuff in that region around its star. And that's exactly how we formed, which is why all of the planets in our solar system are pretty much on the same plane. And I can't help but ask if any aliens saw us when we looked like this and wondered what we would become.
I wish they could have showed us this when they was up there in the Artemis. Shout out to Astro Alexandra. To be honest, this is the most clear picture I've seen of something from NASA.
Famous artist admits he uses witchcraft in his music.
Saturnalia has very disruptive binaural audio, and the whole record does. If you listen to it in headphones, it will affect your brain chemistry. I started reading about this. There's actual bunch of people in America trying to protest this new. There's some different websites where you can download audio that creates the same chemical reaction in your brain as, and the word that addicted to audio. But some of those are true. Some of those frequencies do have an effect on your brain that make you feel happy or sad. And
so is this record an audio drug?
It is. It's alchemical, and it's binaural, and it is it's magic in some way.
Explain. Am I 100% human? No. I'm the shapeshifter.
Sway Lee openly admits the truth in plain sight. He says that he is a shapeshifter. I guess this would explain why he looked so different at Coachella. Now again, people could say it's the way that the light hit his face, which is why it looked like this. But why would he be joking around and saying that he is a shapeshifter? Something weird is definitely going on here with Sway Lee. What do you all think about this? I know I'm not the only one out there that finds this bizarre, but maybe he was just joking. Maybe that's all there was to this. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not saying that Sway Lee is a shapeshifter. All I'm doing is asking questions. I will leave that to you, the viewer, to decide for yourselves what you think about this. But I'm just asking you one question. Why would he joke around like this and say that he is a shapeshifter? What is really going on?
I'm the shapeshifter.
So I'm going to say this fast because every time I talk about this code, Instagram shuts it down. Carbon-12 is the basis of all organic life. Every cell in your body is built on it. It has 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons. That's 666. Now, open up Revelations 13:18. Everyone quotes this verse, and almost nobody ever reads the original text from Greek. Rhythmos and thropou. Rhythmos means number. Thropou means of man, of humanity. Number of man, not number of evil. It's not the number of a demon. It's the number of man, of a human being. The verse literally opens with, "This calls for wisdom." Wisdom, not fear. The text itself is telling you to think, not panic. So there's a thing called the magic square of the sun. Ancient mathematical grid. 6 rows, 6 columns. Every row adds to 111. Every column adds to 111. Every diagonal adds to 111. The total of the entire grid is 666. This is what the Pythagoreans called the solar number. They associated it with life, with light, with generative force. For centuries, 666 was the number of the sun, of energy, of creation. Now let's reduce it down. 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9. The number that never changes. We've been building the singularity at the center of the vortex system. All right, so what actually happened? You have a number that describes human biology at the atomic level. A Greek text that calls it the number of man and asks for wisdom. An ancient mathematical square linking it to solar energy. And a digital root that connects it straight back to the governing number of the vortex. And somehow, this became the number that we were all taught to fear. the most. So they took the signature of your own biological architecture, the number written into every carbon atom in your body, and they turned it into a symbol of evil so you never look at it clearly, which is you. 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, you are 666. And that was never a curse. That was just the blueprint of your creation. So read the Greek, do the math, ask who benefits when you fear your own composition and are afraid to go deeply inside of yourself. Thank you, and I love you.
Shout out to Abundance 10,000, breaking it down with some fascinating facts right here. We were just talking about this in the last live stream with Ted. It's like they taught us to fear ourselves so we can go to them for salvation. That's wild.
Y'all aren't ready for this one. Exodus took place in America, and the true Nile is the Mississippi River. Moses was born here and was buried in Utah. Pay attention to this one, because I'm going to be showing you how much of the Old Testament actually took place here in the Americas. When Moses split the Red Sea, he was leading the Israelites into California. For centuries, California was depicted as an island in all the older maps, even labeled having a Red Sea. So if cartographers of the past were really mistaken, why do so many maps have this exact same mistake with such detail? Now by the 1770s, California begins to look like what it does today, but can't go back to its natural state due to so many dams and levees holding it together. There are over 1,500 dams in California alone, literally holding back an entire sea. Now, the Mississippi River is the true Nile. The Nile of the fake Egypt does not match the description in Isaiah 11:15. It said the Lord smite the river into 7 streams. But the Nile we're given in Africa only has 2 major tributaries. And what is the largest river complex in America? The Mississippi. It's the only major river on Earth that matches the description with 7 massive streams. There's also many Egyptian named cities across the Mississippi, and these are just the ones alongside the river, not considering the rest of the country. Now let's read about the death of Moses in Deuteronomy 34, which shows us his final journey and burial being in Utah, or Judah. All the locations mentioned are found here. This one puts the nail in the coffin. Then Moses went to the plains of Moab, onto the top of Mount Nebo. So a 70-hour walk from Moab to Mount Nebo. Okay, to the top of Pisgah. Pisgah, Utah, that is over against Jericho. Boom, Jericho, Utah, right across Mount Pisgah. And if you're not mind blown yet, you need to drink some wake up juice. But hold on, we still got more places to verify. And then the Lord showed him the whole land from Gilead onto Dan. Gilead, Utah to Dan or Daniel, Utah. Same thing. All these places are in the same vicinity to Mount Nebo. All of Naphtali, or Nephi, Utah, as in Naphtali being one of the tribes of Israel. The territory of Ephraim, right here. And now, you won't find a Manasseh, Utah on the map, but there's a reason for that. The town no longer exists. It didn't survive. But there was a Manasseh in Utah. Give it a quick search and you'll see Manasseh is said to have existed right next to Ephraim. And what do we know about these 2 tribes? They were brothers. So of course they'd be right next to each other. Remember, it says Moses could see the whole land of Judah, or the whole land of Utah, from the top of Mount Nebo. This is what it looks like 12,000 feet high. And sure enough, you can see all these sites from this mountain. Now let's take a look at their little fake hill, Mount Nebo, in Israel, Palestine, which is only 2,000 feet. And it's not even a mountain, it's labeled a ridge, a hill. So why are you calling a ridge a mountain? You mean to tell me Moses could see the whole promised land from this little hill? It doesn't come close. That is a real mountain. There's also many more biblically named locations throughout Utah. Moses Rock. They told you Mormons named these places, but that's the cover story. That's the hijack. Mormons just knew they were setting up in the ancient lands, and they even talk about Indian tribes being descendants of the Hebrews. And while I'm not saying they are, it could explain all these ancient Hebrew artifacts that have been found throughout the US. Many of these tribes were at least in connection with the Israelites. And once you start to compare not only their cultural similarities, the artifacts, or even the linguistic similarities between the Native American languages and the Hebrew tongues, you will find a mountain of evidence. But that's a story for another time.
Yes, there's a whole lot of spell casting. Shout outs to Electric Being. Very interesting. Between him, Indios 369, Taylor Durden, these cats be bringing them receipts, man, for sure. Especially with the mountaintop for Moses. 12,000 feet compared to 2,500 feet. There's no comparison. Utah, huh? Fascinating, for sure. California with over 100 dams. Like, damn. That's a lot of dams. for sure.
Amy Eskridge, one of the 11 scientists that committed suicide, said before she died that she believed we had elites and people living among us that were from the future. Watch this.
So the Ultraterrestrials, I'll just tell you. The Ultraterrestrials, I think, have you heard of the P-52s and the P-47s? Do you know what that is? They're us from the future. They're from here. They are you. They are me. They're from here, from the future. P-47 is present plus 47,000 years. P-52 is present plus 52,000 years. And basically there's a calamity, right? So there's like a apocalypse scenario in the near future. It wipes out most of like everything, man. And there's the ones that go underground and survive, right? And then there's the ones that somehow stay on the surface and miraculously don't die.
Is this part of the reason why bunker sales have exploded in recent years? Because we or our descendants are time traveling to tell us how to survive what's to come? It's all really crazy, but it's important to note that Amy made every effort possible to let her friends and business partners know that she was not suicidal and would not kill herself, but instead that she feared for her life. So it makes you wonder if she was just speaking too much truth about ultra-terrestrials, propulsion systems, and everything else. As always, let me know what you think about all of this down below.
Well, we know at least 3 of those scientists were working on propulsion systems. One even had a patent on it named after her. Shout out to WFF News, Ultraterrestrials. Mind-boggling stuff. Is like, kind of have no choice but to listen to what they were saying, since they're in this cluster of missing scientists or scientists that have been unalived. Shout out to WFF News.
First of all, I don't smoke marijuana because I'm a criminal.
Premièrement, je ne fume pas la marijuana parce que je suis un criminel.
It's because it is good for my body.
C'est parce que c'est bon pour mon corps.
And my body doesn't belong to no. And my body doesn't belong to no motherfucker.
The more you accept herbs, the more you accept Rastafari. You dig what I say? We who accept herb is important, but herb is more important to the people who don't accept it yet, because that is a reality. I mean, it's not selling selling is something that you crave, but you check it in a sense and say, herb is a plant. I mean, herbs are good for everything. Why these people who want to do so much good for everyone, who call themselves governments and this and that, why them say you must not use the herb? You see? And we check that and we can't find, we just see them just say, no, you mustn't use it because it make you rebel. Against what? Against men who won't crave, because them crave for the things like them have some material things and them want to captivate your mind and tell you, say, well, you have to work and put you on pension and him keep it all. So herb make you look for yourself, and instead of you want to work for the man, you want to be one of the man too. Not in the sense of how him is, but in the sense of why should you have to bow to these things.
Do you have to smoke to be a Rasta?
No, man. But in this time, I mean, like, for instance, you're reaching a sense where you're strong enough, you can take a little smoke. So when all them car pass, although you live in the city, you don't hear it because you're thinking. Differently if you just live so. Then, you know what I mean, the whole world confused you and you're worried and you don't have no time to think. And herb is a thing that give you a little time for yourself so you can live, if you use it.
What about alcohol?
Alcohol make you drunk, man. It don't make you meditate. It just make you drunk. When you drink alcohol, you don't meditate. You're more get-headed. Herb is more a consciousness.
And that's a wrap. Hope you enjoyed the deep dive. If you enjoyed this video, please consider to give it a like, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Shout outs to all the reactors. Thanks again. Till next time.